faces that are new. I just wanted to ask if there's anybody that is visiting the temple for the very first time. Jai, welcome. Welcome to ISKCON Naperville. Anybody else visiting the temple for the very first time? We have a special gift for you. On your way out, if you can stop by the book table and collect your special gift. So again, let me take this as an opportunity to introduce His Holiness Romapada Swami Maharaj. Again, many of you know him as one of the key members, key personalities who was instrumental for cultivation of this congregation. So again, very happy to have Maharaj visit us for Nityananda Trayodasi, and then Maharaj has been with us preparing our consciousness for receiving the mercy of Lord Nityananda over the past couple of days. And today Maharaj is going to help us prepare our consciousness for getting the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is coming up. So God Purnima is coming up March 3rd, very soon, in about a month and a half. So again, I would like to have all of you welcome Maharaj and get started here. Thank you so much, Maharaj, for visiting us. Hare Krishna.
Nirantra, I asked the Mataji if she could sing. This little girl here. You recognize her? I recognize you from when you were like this tall. And now you're this tall. Yeah, she's... Let her play harmonium. You play mridanga right by your left shoulder. There's mridanga. Nirantra, there's mridanga. You do the mridanga, she'll do the harmonium. For those of you that are newer, here's the words we're going to sing. This is a very nice, just 8 names of Krishna in Vrindavan. Taken from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. I have.
You bet, Kadir.
I have. Wait.
Jaya Radha Madhava Vijaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jana Vallabha Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodhanandana Raja Janarangana Yashodhanandana Raja Janarangana Yashodhanandana Raja Janarangana Yashodhanandana Raja Janarangana Yamuna Tira Vanachari जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी राधा माधव
जय कुंज बिहारी
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Ram.
Jaya Radha Shyam Sundar, Radha Shyam Sundar Shri Radhe.
Radha Shyam Sundar, Radha Shyam Sundar Shri Radhe.
Jaya Radha Madhava Shri Radhe.
Jai Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava Shri Radhe.
Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe.
Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Shri Radhe.
Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Vrindavan Dham. Jaya Gaurani Thai, Gaurani Thai, Gaurani Thai, Jaya Gaurani Thai.
Gaurani Thai, Gaurani Thai,
Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Srila Prabhupada ki Gaur Premanandi. So this evening's discussion is preparation for Lord Chaitanya's appearance day. We just experienced and honored the appearance day of his elder brother, Lord Nityananda. And shortly thereafter, only 20 years later, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. There's some noise in the back. So situate yourself where you can see the screen nicely, because there's some interesting graphics that are part of this presentation, and you'll be at a loss if you can't see carefully. The feature, this is just introduction, and when we get closer to Gaur Purnima, they have more details and more details. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different than Krishna, with the exception that Krishna's complexion is Shama, like Shama Sundara, and Lord Chaitanya's complexion is golden. So Gora or Goranga. He has golden limbs. And although he is Krishna himself, he manifested pastimes as if a devotee of himself. So he's very, very devoted to Lord Krishna. And he made his appearance in Navadvip. Navadvip is in West Bengal, not far from Calcutta. And the name Navadvip means there's 9 islands or dvipas. And there's a place where the tributaries of the Ganges move in such a way that there's 9 islands, large, not small, but large tracts of land. And collectively, that tract of land is Navadvip. And as you see on the screen, the crest jewel of all holy places, for many, many reasons, but we're not going to cover all those reasons, except just one. And that is, it's the appearance place of Lord Chaitanya. And there's purposes of Lord Chaitanya's appearance. We're going to discuss both the external and then shortly the internal purposes of Lord Chaitanya's appearance. The first one is quite obvious. He, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, appeared shortly after Krishna's departure, and shortly after Krishna's departure, it became the necessity to have a Yuga Dharma, or for this age of Kali Yuga, the primary means of deliverance is the chanting of the holy name, and he came to deliver that, the Yuga Dharma. As he's doing here, you can see in the painting, there's throngs of people in the background, not just his few friends up close, but many, 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 many persons took part in this Yuga Dharma. The sequence is in Satyuga. Jayate is the process of meditation, is the means of achieving perfection for Satyuga. And in the following Treta Yuga is the performance of sacrifice, yajna. And in the age when Krishna appeared is temple worship. And in the age when Lord Chaitanya appeared is the chanting of the holy name. Here it's depicting specifically japa, but kirtan, the chanting of the holy name, is the Yuga Dharma. So, first reason, he came to deliver the Yuga Dharma, and he did so very wonderfully. And a second reason is, as we find, here's a nice verse from Canto 11, where the Navayogendras made their appearance at a yagya in a previous age, a yagya of King Nimi. And when they appeared, King Nimi stopped his yagya to receive these saintly personalities. And he took the opportunity, in addition to offering respects to them, to ask a number of questions. And one of those questions was, what are the avatars in the 4 yugas? Because, there's 4 yugas. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara, Kali Yuga. 4 yugas, and they cycle again and again. So in answer, this is the verse. And many of you know the verse. So those of you that know the verse, we can say it together. Krishna Varnam Trisha Krishnam Sangopangastra Parshadam Yagyai Samkirtana Prayayar Yajanti Hi Sumedasa. The translation: in the age of Kali, intelligent persons, Sumedasa, intelligent persons, that's the last phrase in the sloka. Intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the names of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. Translation of that verse. So there's a scriptural reference long before Lord Chaitanya appeared, indicating he would appear. And who his identity was. He is the Yuga Dharma personality, the supreme personality for this age of Kali. Then a second reason is the same as Krishna's appearance. One of the reasons for Krishna's appearance is to restore Dharma. When there's discrepancy, Dharmasya hi apavargasya. When there's discrepancy in Dharma, and Dharma becomes adharma, then Krishna appeared to set the record straight. So he did so in part by teaching Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, but otherwise also he came for that reason. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, we can recite the verse together. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam. And then the next verse, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam dharma sangsthapanarthaya sambhavami. So dharma sangstha, he came to restore dharma, reestablish dharma. And a third reason described in Chaitanya Charitamrita is what you see on the screen here. This is Advaita Acharya, who was a very elevated Vaishnava of his time, and he saw the degradation of Kali Yuga advancing, and he appealed to the personality of Godhead according to a verse he knew from Gautamiya Tantra, simply by offering a palmful of water and a tulsi leaf to the Supreme Lord. He becomes indebted to that devotee. So he was calling loudly again and again for the Supreme Lord to appear. And sure enough, he appeared. He appeared on the full moon night. Gora Purnima is a Purnima, it's a full moon evening. as we heard already this evening, early March this year. And it's a very exciting event. One year, there was a group of us taking part in a festival, a Gaur Purnima festival, and there was an eclipse. Not only the full moon came, but there was an eclipse of the full moon. And when that happens, you know what happens? Bedlam, that's what happens. When there's an eclipse of the full moon in Mayapur, 1.5 million pilgrims come from out of nowhere, from the 7th realm and all over the countryside, all wanting to take bath in the Ganges at the same time. I'm surprised nobody drowned. I took a quick bath and got out because it was like Kumbh Mela. It was really wild. At night, dark of night, when there's eclipse and even the moonlight's gone because there's no street lights. It's just pitch black. So that's what happened on the appearance day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And at that time, as the eclipse was occurring, loud calling of the holy name, Haribol and Hare Krishna and the Maha Mantra resounding in all directions. Didn't need an amplification system. It was really loud. First-hand experience. Bengalis love chanting, and in unison, and it was wild. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in Navadvip, and this is the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The temple that you see, the white domed temple, was built by Bhakti Siddhanta, not by him, but he made the arrangements for the building of this temple. And inside the temple, there's deities that Jagannath Mishra worshipped because he was a Brahmana, and his wife, his mother Sachi, and they had as a son little Nimai. He was called Nimai because earlier Sachi had lost a number of children shortly after they were born. Something very similar to Devaki lost her children, but because of Kamsa. But the children didn't survive, but Nimai survived. And so he was nicknamed Nimai because he was born under a neem tree. Thus Nimai, because neem is said to bring auspiciousness. So if you ever have a birth problem, you find a neem tree somewhere. There's plenty of neem trees in Bengal. And she had the privilege, of course, it's an eternal relationship, but had the privilege of taking Nimai on her lap as the young child of her mother, of his mother, and taking care of the young child, supervised by Jagannath Mishra. And he had many playful childhood pastimes. We're just touching on the topic, but here's a nice painting without all the details of the pastime, because many, there's a very lengthy description of his, as Krishna had many playful childhood pastimes, so Lord Chaitanya, many playful childhood pastimes. And she had the pleasure of being the mother of this little boy. Because he was the son of a Brahmana, he accepted the childish behavior, the childish activity of becoming a teacher. And he was a teacher of Sanskrit grammar, Vyakarana. And this is a nice painting. It's the cover of one of the Chaitanya Bhagavat books, specifically focusing on his childhood pastimes. And one traveling pundit had this liking for traveling here and traveling there and engaging in debate. It was like a sport. today's sports are different. Sports then was debate. It was sport. And, but it was serious because he was a worshiper of goddess Saraswati. And he had been given a benediction because of his ardent worship. Saraswati personally informed him that you will never be defeated. So he was bold. He challenged anybody left, right, and sideways. And so when he came to Mayapur, his first question was, who's the most learned person here? I want to debate them. And they all said, this young boy, Nimai, he's the smartest person here. So he came to where he was walking along a pathway along the side of the Ganges, and he saw this gathering of students sitting around another young boy, as you see in the painting. And Nimai, he approached Nimai and said, who are you? And he said, I'm just a humble servant. I'm trying to engage in the activities of chanting. And who are you? My name is Keshava. Keshava Bhatta, the very learned scholar from Kashmir. Oh, I've heard about you. Could you compose some Sanskrit poetry in glorification of Mother Ganges? Oh, certainly I could do that. And within 1 hour, spontaneously, he composed 100 Sanskrit verses in glorification of Mother Ganges. And Nimai said, oh, your scholarship is so amazing. Who can understand your poetry? Could you explain the following poetry? And he recited one of the 100 verses, number 64. Verbatim, the same as Keshava Kashmiri had recited it. And Keshava said, how did you remember? I just was reciting. I don't remember any of those verses. Nimai said, some persons have a gift to recite. Some persons have a gift to memorize. Could you tell me, explain this verse? Your poetry is so excellent and so elevated. And so, yes, I can explain the verse. He explained the verse. And then Nimai, the Sanskrit grammar teacher, said, could you describe then the qualities and the faults? Well, there's only qualities, there's no faults. And why are you asking that question? Well, since you're asking me why I'm asking that question, here's 6 faults. And by Sanskrit grammar, he went through, it's right in Chaitanya Charitamrita as well as in Chaitanya Bhagavat, what those faults were. And it's a technical, grammatical error, but it's an error. And Keshava Kashmiri was stunned. He's being defeated by a little boy. And he was unable to say anything. And that was a further astonishment because he'd never been stunned like this. So he thought, this must be the goddess Saraswati. I have displeased her somehow. So he asked Nimai, how were you able to explain all of this? And he said, I can only say it must be Saraswati. Said, why don't you go home and take rest, and tomorrow we'll come back and we'll have some other discussions. Because Nimai knew what would happen, and here's what happened. That night, Keshava Kashmiri had a dream, and in his dream, the goddess Saraswati appeared, and goddess Saraswati explained, the reason you were tongue-tied is because the person who you are speaking to is my master. Any power I have is derived from him. That's the personality of Godhead. The person who you are speaking today is my master, the personality of Godhead. So I couldn't contradict him. I couldn't empower you to speak against him. So you were tongue-tied. Oh, tomorrow you should go and pay your obeisances to him. And he woke up. Sure enough, from that next morning, he offered his obeisances and stopped the demigoddess worship and became a Vaishnava. Now, there's details later. This Keshava Bhatta, the Chaitanya Charitamrita calls him Keshava Kashmiri because that's where he was from, Kashmir. But Keshava Bhatta then became a scholar in the Nimbarka Sampradaya and wrote books in glorification of the Supreme Lord and had great respect, naturally, for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from a different Sampradaya. Then in this way, there's many other pastimes in his childhood or his youth. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu eventually, this is the goddess Saraswati informing him that the person that you spoke to was the personality of Godhead. In course of time, Nimai Pandit had a visit, or visiting Navadvip was his to become spiritual master, Ishwara Puri. And then later, when he met Ishwara Puri for a second time, when he went to Gaya to perform his Shraddha ceremony for his departed father, Ishwara Puri was there. Ishwara Puri gave him mantra diksha in the line of Madhvacharya, Madhavendra Puri, in that line from Lord Brahma Sampradaya. And when that happened, he became not just a scholar, but a great devotee. And his activities of chanting Hare Krishna mantra exploded. And all over Navadvip, the chanting, the resounding chanting of the holy name took place. Eventually, different things happened. I'm skipping forward. We'll learn more when we come to Gaur Purnima time. He took sannyas when he was just 24 years old. The painting is showing he left in the dead of night inside that cottage where he was residing was his mother, widowed mother, because his father had died, and his 16-year-old wife. And he just left in the dead of night and accepted the order of sannyas. This is showing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu preaching after accepting sannyas. And many other things happened, including at the request of his mother, he went to Jagannath Puri to make that his base or his headquarters. When he reached Jagannath Puri, I'm skipping many details, but when he entered the Jagannath temple, he was alone. He had associates with him, but by some particular arrangement, he entered the temple alone. When he entered the temple alone and saw Lord Jagannath, he swooned in a mood of ecstasy and fell silent on the floor. The guards thought, this is a crazy man, that we're going to throw him out. But Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, pictured here, he is the chief scholar of the king, and he was super scholar, brilliant person. He had thousands of sannyas disciples or students under him, although he was a grahastha. He's that kind of a learned person. So when he volunteered to train this young 24-year-old sannyasi in Vedanta Sutra, here he is babbling away 7 days, explaining Vedanta Sutra according to Shankaracharya's teachings. And respectfully, he sat and listened, but he wasn't really interested, you can tell by the painting, by his facial image, he's not like. And after Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya tried to teach him, he asked him that 8th morning, I've been explaining Vedanta Sutra so thoroughly, but you're not saying anything. I don't know if you're understanding or not understanding. Could you please say? He said, yeah, finally he spoke. I understand Vedanta Sutra very well, but to be honest, the more you speak, your words are covering up the meaning. Oh, really? Well, if you understand Vedanta Sutra, then you explain it to me. Because he was asked by his superior by age, he then explained Vedanta Sutra. It's right in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and so eloquently, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was astonished because he's super scholar. He's not just a learned fellow. And he put 2 and 2 together and came up with 4. Now, you're not just a smart sannyasi. You're the Supreme Person. And according to Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya then showed his form of Radha and Krishna and a 4-armed form of Lord Narayana right in front of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who fell on the floor, who then, super scholar, understood this isn't just a nice sannyasi. There's details and details. In Chaitanya Bhagavat, it describes a little bit differently. It describes that he showed a Sad Bhuja form. Sad Bhuja means 4-arm, the 6-arm form. 6. So Krishna with his flute, Ramchandra with his bow and arrows, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with his danda and his water pot, kamandalu. 6-arm form. And again, he fainted. So now Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, this is important. He's the most learned person, the priest of the king, and the most learned person in the whole of Puri and all the kingdom of Prataparudra, which was a vast kingdom. It went all the way from the northern part of Utkal or Orissa down to now Chennai. He had a big kingdom. He was the king. And Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is the most learned person. So he's a very important person. And such an early stage, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is revealing to him. He asked, keep this confidential. Well, it's kind of kept it confidential, but we know about it, so we wouldn't keep it too confidential. Later, in the course of his being a sannyasi, Lord Chaitanya traveled to Vrindavan, and when he went to Vrindavan, there he met Rupa Goswami. Now, again, this is just touching topics of Lord Chaitanya's life. But when Rupa Goswami first met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or second time met, in Prayag, at the Dashashvamedha Ghat, he spontaneously composed the following verse, a very celebrated verse, worth reciting again and again. Let's recite it one time together. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gora Tvishe Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who is more magnanimous than any other avatar, even Krishna himself, because he is bestowing freely what no one else has ever given, pure love of Krishna. Meaning, Krishna required surrender. You know the verse. Mamekam Sharanam Braja. Yes? You don't know the verse. Let's say the verse together. Sarvadharmam parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Braja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Yashami Masuchaha. You know the verse. 1866. Look it up when you get home. 1866 Bhagavad Gita. where Krishna is instructing, Mam Ekam Sharanam. Mam Ekam, surrender unto me alone. So he had a condition. You surrender unto me and I'll do this. Aham Tvam Sarva Papibhyo. Moksha, I'll deliver you from all sinful reactions. Moksha Yashami. Masuchaha. Don't worry, have no fear. Surrender unto me and I'll deliver you. Lord Chaitanya didn't require. He freely bestowed without condition. And it wasn't just, the spiritual world. Krishna Prema, the topmost stage of entrance into the spiritual world. That's the first composition, spontaneous composition. Because Rupa Goswami was also a great scholar, as was Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and great scholars became great devotees of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and left teachings behind. So now he's back in Puri, and there in the background of this nice painting is the Jagannath temple, and with his devotees, he engaged in Sankirtan, because that's the Yuga Dharma. And in front of the deity of Lord Jagannath at Jagannath Ratha Yatra, thousands and hundreds of thousands of people come from all directions to participate in Jagannath Ratha Yatra. And there he was before the cart of Lord Jagannath with Nityananda and Advaitacharya behind him, singing and dancing and exhibiting symptoms of ecstasy of love of God before Lord Jagannath. So now, again, this is a summary just to get you all ready for what's going to happen in a month from now, the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, according to Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are 3 internal purposes. We mentioned 3 external. 3 internal. Listen carefully. I'll speak them slowly. He, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as Krishna himself, wanted to experience the love that Radha feels for him. It's very beautifully described. I'm the personality of God, or there's nothing I can't do. But the love that Radha feels, she's the subject and I'm the object. So I have to take the position of the subject to experience the love that she feels toward the object. So I'll appear as a devotee of myself. That was one reason. The second, he wanted to experience not just the love, but the ecstasies, the features of him that stimulate that love. So he did. He appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's what we're going to be discussing shortly. The feature of Radha's love for Krishna and tasting the different qualities of Krishna from the position of Radha, although he's Krishna himself. So here's the nice verse. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna with a golden bodily luster and the mood or bhava of Radha. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Ladini Shakti Asmat. This is a nice painting. This is one I wanted to make sure you're situated so you can see the screen. We'll let it go back and forth a few times. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in the male form, had the mood of Srimati Radharani and the complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he's the personality of Godhead, because he wanted to experience the love that she feels for him, the qualities in him that stimulate that love, and distribute that to others. So there was a kind of infectious. He made that available to others. He wanted to do those 3 things. And so he appeared. Now, those of you a little bit familiar, you see this stack of books over here? And over there, guess what's inside? Chaitanya Charitamrita. In the very first section of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, the fifth verse is this one. Let us say the verse together, those of you familiar with the verse. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Ladani Shakti Rasmat Ekatmanav Api Bhuvi Pura Deha Bedam Gatau Tau Chaitanyakyam Prakritam Aduna Tadvayam Chaikyam Aptam Radha Bhava Jyoti Suvalitam Naomi Krishna Swarupam. So Krishna Swarupam, he's Krishna himself. Swarupa is Krishna himself, but he's in the bhava of Radha, Radha bhava, and has the complexion of Radha. Both the bhava and the jyoti of Radha. Jyoti Savalitam Naomi Krishna Swarupam. Here's the translation. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, Ekatma Anav, Eka, they're one in their identity. Previously, they separated themselves. Now these two transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to him who has manifested himself with the sentiment and the complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. So there's, go back to the verse. The Eka Atma Api, although one, there's two forms, but there's one entity. Two forms, but one entity. Radha Krishna, one entity. But then that two forms that became one entity with the complexion of Radha. Krishna himself, but the complexion of Radha. It's a deep mystery. It defies the binary processor mind to sort it out. You can ponder on it, that's okay. But it won't be understood that way. There's Radha, there's Krishna, and there's two forms, and the two forms became one form. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself in the mood and the complexion of Radha. And so he, in his pastimes in Puri, a place where the mood of separation from Krishna is very prominent because he wanted to go to Vrindavan, but his mother requested him to go to Puri, saying Krishna is also in Puri in the form of Jagannath. But the mood of Jagannath, it's filled with rasa. What I'm about to describe, it's not easy to understand because it's rasa-based. And that rasa-based understanding is Jagannath with his big eyes. It's like Srimati Radharani and the gopis when they go to Kurukshetra and they see Krishna again. Because Krishna had left to go to Mathura. And he hadn't come back. But then there was this reunion in Kurukshetra on the occasion of solar eclipse. And she's again feasting her eyes. But it's Jagannath feasting his eyes on Krishna. And in the mood of Radharani. It's the mood of loving separation. So he, in Puri, it was in this torn state of emotion, experiencing the pastimes of Krishna in Vrindavan that he used to conduct and engage in with Radharani in the mood of separation from all of those wonderful pastimes. And so he had this Sankirtan activity with Nityananda, but he also had this opportunity to experience love in separation that Radha felt. Now we're going back to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Remember Super Scholar? So the chief priest of the king of Orissa, Prataparudra. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya also was very scholarly, and he composed 100 verses in glorification of Lord Chaitanya. 2 of those verses he wrote down on palm leaves, and they were later discovered and shown to Lord Chaitanya. And then when Lord Chaitanya read them, this is one of them, he ripped it. But it was too late because they already made copies. This is his, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's description of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We'll recite the verse together. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shikshartam Eka Purushak Puranam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shadidadari Kripam Buddhir Yastam Aham Prapadye. Very beautiful verse, very important, often recited verse. Translation. Let me take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who has descended in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to teach us real knowledge, devotional service, and detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. Nija, his own devotional service. He has descended because he's an ocean of transcendental mercy, Kripam Buddhi. Let me surrender unto his lotus feet. It's Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's realization of who this person is that's residing with them in Puri. He felt very fortunate. And there was a second verse that was also found, copied later. What happened to the verse? Oh, the Sanskrit is missing. Here's the second verse. Let my consciousness, this is Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya praying to Lord Chaitanya, let my consciousness, which is like a honeybee, take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has just now appeared as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to teach the ancient system of devotional service to himself. This system had almost been lost due to the influence of time, Kali Yuga. So these are 2 of Sarvabhauma's very celebrated glorifications of Lord Chaitanya, and we're nearing a closure toward this evening's discussion. Here is a painting of where Lord Chaitanya resided. When he reached Jagannath Puri, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, chief scholar of the king, went to the king and said, let's find a very nice place here in Puri. And he described the place. It should be quiet, a little away from the hustle and bustle where people are coming and going in the multitudes, but simple and clean. And so the king said, I know the place. It's the house of Kashi Mishra. Now, house of Kashi Mishra isn't like suburbia. It's very different. Big, like palatial place. Kashi Mishra, learned Vaishnava. And there was a little room called Gambhira. And he was given that little room that had privacy and only one entrance and so forth and so on. So there is where he stayed, in the house of Kashi Mishra in Gambhira. And 2 persons were his constant companions. These 2 names, when you read Chaitanya Charitamrita, you'll find these names mentioned again and again. Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy. Because of time, I'm not going to give too much background on them. But in Krishna Lila, they are Lalita and Vishaka, who are dearmost associates of Radha. So the dearmost associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Swarup Damodar. Lalita and Vishaka. Makes sense, right? And they had intimate understanding of the moods of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here they are having some discussion, topics about Krishna. In the background, it shows his servant Govinda. And together, these two, Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Roy, they accompanied Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is an outside photograph of Gambhira. The natives are restless. Don't worry, we're going to end soon. Okay. There's the outside of Gambhira. You saw the inside, at least the painting of the inside of Gambhira. And kirtan into the evening. And then when the evening got quite late, this is the deities of Kashi Mishra. In the house of Kashi Mishra at an altar. And of course, Radha Krishna. And on the right side, that's Lord Chaitanya. And on the left side, our left side, that's Lord Nityananda, Gornitai, on his altar. So at night, after the end of Kirtan and everyone went home to take rest, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu couldn't take rest. He was restless and went wandering in the mood of Radharani, searching for Krishna. And just these two associates primarily, sometimes others accompanied, just went along to follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his beyond worldly conception sense of absorption and love for Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani. And sometimes in states of madness. Sometimes he fell in the ocean and they searched for him. They couldn't find him. And then later a fisherman, this is what this painting is depicting, he thought he caught a big fish in his fishing net. And he pulled the fish to shore and found it wasn't just a big fish, it was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was in an unconscious state, not like, a materially unconscious, but a spiritually ecstatic state, oblivious to where he was in the material world, completely absorbed consciousness-wise with the personality of Godhead. Pretty amazing. So all these descriptions are in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And in the life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we'll find I better hurry up and end. They'll grow up someday, but then there'll be new ones representing those who want to grow up. Just like you. So here's the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We'll go quickly. This is on the left, that's the structure. On the right, this is what it looked like in the neighborhood. Here's the entrance to that birthplace. This is also with Chinese characters on the right side. Yeah. This is in front of us on the right side. This is the entrance to the Samadhi of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Inside, there's the Murti of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because he found the place and his son built the place. Bhaktisiddhanta built the place. And there's the entrance, the Samadhi of Shaki Charandas Babaji Maharaj, a disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta. Here's the original temple that Bhaktivinoda Thakur built. There's the temple that later he instructed his son to build. And here's the neem tree under which Nimai Pandit was born. There's a temple of Lord Shiva that is inside. We'll take a look. But Kshetrapal Shiva and Gopeshwara Mahadev, these two deities, they were installed by Bhaktisiddhanta and Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They were present during the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. So they restored them. Here's the altar. On the left side of the altar, Radha Madhava, and Mahaprabhu. Radha Madhava and Mahaprabhu. And then in the central altar, there's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his two wives. There's Lakshmi Priya and Vishnu Priya, installed by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And then the Panchatattva is on the far right. And this Bhakti Siddhanta established with Jagannath in the middle. So this is quick because the natives are restless. I'm going quickly. Sorry about that. When the excavation of the temple of the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taken, they dug down in the ground. There's details which noise and time doesn't permit. They found the deity that Jagannath Mishra worshipped. Jagannath Mishra was the father. He was a Vaishnava. He worshipped this deity of Adhoksaja Vishnu, and it was found in the ground. An archaeological finding verified they got the right place. Not far away, there's deities installed by Bhakti Siddhanta, Gaur Gadadhar. There's also a temple of Lord Nrsingadev. Again, Bhakti Siddhanta established. All these little temples are in the same vicinity of the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now that's the end. And we have another month before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day. So those of you that are very fortunate, either you take home a set of Chaitanya Charitamritas with you and read up for the next month, so we're all ready for when Gaur Purnima comes. Or if you already have a set, find somebody that doesn't. Make a gift of a set of Chaitanya Charitamrita for those people. The end. Srila Prabhupada ki, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki, Gaur Premanandi.
Thank you, Maharaj. Please give a loud Haribol. So as Maharaj was sharing, we are in the process of distributing Chaitanya Charitamrita sets. We have set a target of distributing 108 Chaitanya Charitamrita sets this year. So that is between today and March 3rd. We would like to distribute 108 sets.
Yay.
So today, if any of you are interested, and I see a hand raised, I'm kidding. If any of you would like to purchase a Chaitanya Charitamrita set, Maharaj is here and you can take your set, Chaitanya Charitamrita set from Maharaj. Is there anybody that would like to either purchase for themselves or for others a set of Chaitanya Charitamrita? It's $108 per set. Yeah, Govinda Moni Mataji, do you have any? Oh, Jai, Haribo. Okay, Aishwarya Mataji, thank you so much. Can you hand over this, Maharaj?
Okay, just finish.
Okay. Haribo.
Hey. Is it the first one? No? Huh? One week ago. How was that? You know how Krishna was when he left the Govardhan Hill? He was 7. See people from this Govardhan Hill? Yeah.
Okay. Sachiko. All right, so the next person, I would like to welcome Dhananjay Pandit Prabhu. Please collect your Srimad Bhagavatam. Chaitanya Charitamrita set, sorry, it's saying Srimad Bhagavatam.
Making a gift to somebody. Probably Okay. Okay. Very clever. I just saw this name.
So this is Sachikumar Prabhu that is sponsoring the Chaitanya Charitamrita set to Dhananjay Pandit Prabhu. So again, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Is there anybody else who would like to take this an opportunity to receive a set from Maharaj? It's a nice Valentine's Day gift too. All right. If in case you change your mind after Prasadam, you can always find the book table, and we have Ratnavilasini Mataji and Gondamoyini Mataji who will be more than happy to get you a set of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Again, thank you so much. Next, I wanted to make an announcement about an upcoming seminar. It's called as the Vaishnava Etiquette Seminar that's coming up February 13th to 16th. Again, Maharaj is very kindly offered to conduct this seminar for us. We are very, very grateful that Maharaj continues to shower us with this association. The Vaishnava Etiquette Seminar is also going to be joined by Urmila Mataji, who has been a lifelong educator in ISKCON. And I would highly, highly encourage everybody to attend this seminar, which is, again, as this congregation is growing and as we are getting into the thick of services, this seminar will help us ensure that we are all having the stones, and we're all putting our stones at the center, and in that sense, all aligned in our service to Sri Sri Radha Shyam Sundar and Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj, would you like to speak anything about the Vaishnava Etiquette Seminar?
Please come.
Jai.
I'll say something about Urmila. Urmila is a very senior Vaishnavi. She's written several books. One of the books that because I've had some discussion with her about this, a book by Raghunath Das Goswami called Mana Shiksha. The book is this thick. She had the entire transcript of the book and the commentary on the book gone through many times because she couldn't find a translation that was appropriate. So she did it herself. And it's very wonderful. We had the seminar here on Mana Shiksha, and she's going to be here. She'll probably sign your book, your Mana Shiksha book. And she's writing several other books. She's been an educator in the education system for children for decades. She's a smart lady. So anything she's going to say is going to be good. I want to hear what she has to say. Please come.
All right. So again, with that, let me go on to thank the sponsors for today's Sunday feast. I would like to thank Dr. Akhil Chawla and family, who is celebrating the birthday of Avyan, Neil, and Rohan Chawla, seeking prayers and blessings of devotees and Sri Sri Radha Shyam Sundar. Do we have Dr. Akhil Chawla and family? Haribol, please come forward and accept a token of gift from Maharaj.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
There you go. Hi, Krishna.
Haribol. Next, we have Rahul and Shivani celebrating son Riyan's first birthday. Rahul and Shivani. Please come forward. Haribol. Next, we have Chintan and Nisha Soni celebrating their wedding anniversary. Chintan and Nisha Soni. Thank you so much for all the services that you and your husband are providing here. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Shakuntala Vyas remembering her spouse and seeking blessings for his spiritual journey. Shakuntala Vyas.
Please come. Oh, Grandma. I should go to them.
If all of you could please, if all of you could please turn to Shri Shri Radha Shyamsundar and let's chant one Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So with that, I also wanted to say that we don't really have any sponsors for next week's Sunday feast. So if any of you feel so inspired, please do reach out to me or to Shyam Prabhu, who's sitting in the back, or Abhay Prabhu, who's standing here. So again, thank you so much. And you can take your darshan and then head for prasadam downstairs. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.